The old town of Chartres, around which the modern town unaesthetically sprawls, is built on a natural elevation that rises from a wide wheat-growing plain in the region of Beauce in central France. Visitors and pilgrims who since earliest times have made their ways to the ancient site can see the Cathedral of Notre Dame from many miles off, the twin spires like lofty beacons, encouraging them onward. 5 successive cathedrals have stood on this site. All were burned to rubble, save the present cathedral, which grew, phoenix-like, from the embers of the last devastating fire. On June 10th, 1194, flames sped through Chartres, destroying many of the domestic dwellings, crowded cheek by jowl in the narrow medieval streets, and all of the former cathedral save the western front with its twin towers and the much more ancient crypt. As the fire took hold, the forest of roof timbers crashed, burning to the ground, amid frenzied clouds of burning cinders. The walls split, tumbled and collapsed, while lead from the roof poured down in a molten stream, as if enacting a scene of eternal damnation in a last judgment. The reaction among the citizens of Chartres was one of uniform horror. According to contemporary reports, they lamented the loss of their beloved cathedral, even more than the loss of their own homes. Perhaps this was in part because, as today, their livelihoods depended on the many parties of pilgrims visiting the town to pay reverence to the most venerated relic, the birthing gown of the Virgin Mary, a gift to the cathedral by the grandson of Charlemagne, Charles the Bald. 3 days after the fire was finally quenched, some priests emerged from the crypt with the marvellous cloth still intact. As the fire took hold, they had apparently snatched it from its hallowed place and retreated for safety into the most ancient part of the cathedral, the lower crypt, the province of Our Lady under the earth, incarcerating themselves behind a metal door, which had held firm while the fire raged destruction outside. The missing men had been presumed dead, the holy relic presumed lost. When it was seen to have been restored and its rescuers returned to safety, it was agreed that this was a miracle, a sign from Our Lady that the town should build in her honour an edifice even finer than before. The new cathedral was completed within 26 years, thanks to the devotion and hard labour of the townspeople, who pulled together to create a building worthy of the Mother of God, with whom their town had so fortunately found favour. The bishop and his canons agreed to donate the greater portion of their salaries to aid the cost of the building works. Sovereigns of the Western world were approached for funds, and many dug deep into their coffers to ensure that their names were attached to the noble enterprise, which would gain for them fitting rewards in the life to come. People from neighbouring dioceses bought cartloads of grain to feed the citizens of Chartres, who were giving their labours for nothing more than the love of God. The whole astonishing structure was conceived, designed, and accomplished by a series of master builders, men of clear enterprise and shining genius. But of them and their companies, the scores of talented sculptors, stone-cutters, masons, carpenters, roofers, stained glass artists, and manual labourers who implemented their plans, nothing is known. Nor was anything known of Agnès Morel when she arrived in Chartres nearly 800 years after the building of the present cathedral commenced. Few, if asked, could have recalled when she first appeared. She must have seemed vaguely always to have been about. A tall, dark, slender woman, a touch of the tar-brush there, Madame Beck, who had more than a passing sympathy for the Front National, chose to comment. With eyes that the local artist, Robert Clermont, likened to washed topaz, though, as the same Madame Beck remarked to her friend Madame Picotte, being an artist, he was given to these fanciful notions. As far back as Philippe Nevers could remember Agnès,